Alijah, born and raised in Oakland, California. You have two sets of parents because your parents were married and then both remarried after the divorce. Do you remember what it was like when that happened? Did you initially not feel as happy about it as you are now?
So they split at a young age, well, when I was young. So I don't remember it at all. And kind of like my mom met my stepdad when I was young, and my dad with my stepmom as well. So I just kind of grew up with them always being there. And that's something I'm really blessed for, because they've always been in my life. So I don't see my stepdad as my stepdad or stepmom as stepmom. I mean, having four parents, there was definitely hurdles growing up. But I feel like my parents, all four of them, handled it really well in raising me into the young man, or the man I am today.
So you had the Vera household growing up, and then you had the Tucker household growing up. In high school, you started going by Alijah Vera-Tucker, and then in college, you made it official. Why was it so important to you to get both of your last names legally changed to one?
Like I said before, since a young age, that's all I've known is being a part of the Vera family and Tucker family. So as soon as I was able to change that when I got to college, turned 18, I did. Just because, I felt like I wanted to be closer, to my family and just represent that last name on my back like I've always wanted to do.
You come from a Mexican background as well. How much does it mean to you to be able to represent that Hispanic culture every Sunday on a national stage?
I think it's a rare opportunity, There's not a lot of us from Mexican heritage in the NFL, so being able to be one of those representatives, I feel like holds a lot of weight. I'm proud to be one of those as well. And I think every year it's cool, during Heritage Month, they reach out wanting to do things, and I'm all for it. Even the little things like putting the flag on, the back of the helmet, I think that's really cool. And it just, it's cool to wear that helmet or the flag with pride.
How special and what does it mean to you to be able to be starting a family of your own with your wife as you're expecting your first child?
Honestly, that's one of the greatest feelings I've had in a while. Especially my wife, her being such a great person, I know she's gonna be such a great mom. But yeah, we're both big family people. And me personally, like the amount of family I have, I can't wait or to see how much love they give and show to our little boy. They already have, and he's not even here yet. Like, we had a gender reveal, and we had like a whole bunch of family there. It was almost like a family reunion, so that was cool, being able to celebrate new life in the family. And I think it's cool too, he's able to grow up with a couple cousins that are gonna be his age. I got cousins and everybody like that having kids as well, so it's kind of like perfect timing almost in the family. So I'm really excited about it. Like I said, me being a family man, I can't wait.
Who do you credit with getting you started playing football? Because when did that introduction happen?
My brother, for sure, my god brother. Both my god brothers actually, they were playing football at Pop Warner, and I wanted to play too, but I was too big. For my age in California, they got all these rules and everything. So I would have had to be playing with them almost, with the older kids. For one, my mom was not having that. She was like, I'm not doing that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I really played soccer for like 10 years growing up, basketball here and there, shoot even lacrosse a little bit for like 2-3 years. So I was really just like an athletic kid. And then once I got to high school, I knew I wanted to play football.
So did you start on the offensive line right away, or was there some kind of decision with where you were gonna start?
My coach, he asked me, he's like, what position you want to play? And I feel like he already knew what the answer was gonna be, but he just wanted to see. I was like, I'm trying to play tight end, trying to catch the ball, run block and all that. He's like, nah, you're playing left tackle. I was like, all right, that's cool. You could have told me that before you even asked me, before you got my hopes up. But I played left tackle for all 4 years in high school. It was like freshman year, was on JV, then the next 3 years on varsity. So that was cool playing with all the homies for sure.
Would you say that motivation to perfect your craft comes from within then? Because since you don't get that outside attention as much just based on the position, does it all come from just who you are?
Like me being a family guy, like I said before, and having, 2 little sisters, siblings, I kind of grew up just being a protective person overall. And I think I could say that translated well into playing offensive lineman, because obviously you protect the quarterback back there. You protect, the running back, you block for the running back. And you have to have good communication and work well with the other 4 guys on the offensive line. So I think that does kind of stem from, me being who I am and me naturally fitting in that position.
What was the moment where you realized, I'm pretty good at this? I think I could potentially go to college for it.
No, I knew I was good in high school for sure. Sophomore year, I had to gain a little weight, so did that. And then I was kind of just, throwing guys around here and there, but college wasn't really on my mind yet. It was more like focused on academics, just because that's always, been a focus in the family. And then all of a sudden, like, Washington came to practice. I didn't know they were there for me. Then my coach talked to him and told me I had got offered that day. So that was crazy. That was after my sophomore year. It was like spring practice or something. So told my mom, told my dad. They were really excited. And that's when I kind of knew, this football thing, could be real going into college.
So Washington was that first offer. How did you land at USC?
Once you get that one offer, then kind of all the other schools start piling in. So I got majority Pac-12, some Big Ten, a couple SEC. But when I took my visit to USC, I could just sense the culture that they had there. I knew it was a school I wanted to go to from the jump, just because it's in SoCal, not too far from home, right? And also just the people and the staff that were there. That's kind of why I fell in love with USC.
So you go to USC, and it's not until your redshirt sophomore year where you get to start at left guard for all 13 games. You earn all Pac-12 second team, AP all Pac-12 first team, and you were USC's offensive lineman of the year. Why do you think you found so much success right from the jump?
I think for me it was patience, right? Like, I feel like coming in, obviously I wanted to start, but didn't. And then second year was kind of getting reps here and there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my head down, work, make sure when I get my opportunity, I'm gonna make the most of it. And I think that kind of motivated me, not playing as much as I wanted to the first 2 years. So that, I also had really good coaching from my coach in college, Tim Drevno. I give a lot of credit to him. And also like the guys I was playing with, right? My center and my left tackle, both my roommates. So guys who I already, hung out with every day, so wanted to play my heart out for those guys, and the rest of the O-line, obviously.
The next season, in 2020, you start at left tackle, and you become all Pac-12 first team, AP all Pac-12 first team, you're a captain, like you said, and you win the Morris Trophy for the best offensive lineman in the Pac-12. So, new year, new position on the line. Again, you were able to find that success, but even at a new position, why was that?
For that was preparation, for sure. Knowing I was gonna most likely play left tackle if I were to come back to SC, and that was gonna be a challenge for me. I already knew, but it was something that I was down with doing, and I feel like I've just been blessed with natural, gifted athleticism, so that helps as well. Obviously, it felt a little off at first, but like I said, I got used to it once I got in my groove.
Someone must have told you you could go to the NFL because you're clearly succeeding at the collegiate level. What was that moment like for you?
It was almost kind of surreal, I feel like, because it was towards the end of my third year when I was like playing all 12, 13 games at left guard, and I was getting DMs from my agents, and I was like, I showed my parents, and then that's when we kind of realized this was real, but even then I still didn't know how to kind of approach it, So that kind of kicked off towards the end of my third year at SC, and that was just kind of crazy knowing that this could be, a real thing going into the league. Because coming into SC, my thing was academics first and then football. Once I got my chance to play, I knew I was gonna ball out. So once that happened, I was like, okay, this is real. And it's funny too, because I like telling this story. My mom started talking to my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, was like, this this NFL thing could be like real. Like he has agents hitting him up and everything. And she was like, oh, what's an agent? Like, what are you talking about to the league? Like, she had no clue what was going on, this and that. So we had to update her real quick because it moves fast for sure once you start talking to them.
So the Jets take you number 14 overall.
The New York Jets select Alijah Vera-Tucker, guard, USC.
You've been on the West Coast your whole life.
Yeah.
You now are getting taken by a team on the East Coast. What's your reaction? Because you must have been super excited to be 14th overall, but then also maybe even a little nervous or scared because you're moving across the country.
Yeah. You know, we're all just sitting there, and then I see a call from Jersey. I'm like, oh, who could that be? I didn't know the Jets facility and all that was in Jersey, right? So I'm like, I just pick it up. I'm like, this is definitely someone just calling me from Jersey. And tomorrow it's the Jets. I'm like, so I'm in shock on the phone. I'm trying to tell my family, like, be quiet. I'm trying to listen to what they're saying, this and that. So yeah, that was crazy. Just knowing I was gonna go to Jersey all the way to the East Coast. And it was funny to my family. We was joking about, like, what if we end up all the way on the other side of the country? And what do you know, that happened, right?
Okay, so your rookie season, you start 13 games at left guard, and that's 2021. Then in 2022, the carousel comes. 3 games at right guard, then week 4 left tackle, then week 5 right tackle, and you continue to play right tackle for the next 3 games. I need people to understand how hard this is to do because you did it so easily and made it seem like it was no big deal. But how hard is that, not only to be that versatile, but play a new position almost every week?
It definitely is hard, for sure. Like, I remember them asking me, you know, if I could play left tackle. I'm like, for real? Like, okay, I could do it, right? But just give me some time and some practice. So like I said, like, it felt a little rusty, you know, going from right guard to left tackle, then to right tackle. So, you know, it definitely took advantage of the practices for sure to get myself prepared mentally and physically. But I would say it is hard because you go from right guard to left tackle. The footwork's different, the rushers are different, the run blocking is different, and then the right tackle, it's the same thing. A right tackle felt a little bit easier, but it was still pretty hard.
Back to week 7, 2022. You tear your triceps in Denver against the Broncos. What was that like when that happened? Did you know right away?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know I had torn my tricep. It was the right one. I had like pulled a muscle before, so like that's what I kind of thought it was. I didn't think it was like completely torn. So I had my hopes up that, you know, I was gonna be out for probably like a month and a half, and I was gonna get back to it. But unfortunately, the MRI came back, and that was some devastating news for sure. That was my first like season-ending injury. Never had one of those before, and mentally that was tough, especially with like how I was playing. I felt really good, felt really comfortable out there, enjoyed playing, obviously. So yeah, that was hard, but it was definitely something that made me mentally stronger. It made me kind of appreciate the game more.
So 2023 comes, the season, and you're back, you're ready, you're fully healthy. Aaron Rodgers has come on the team, so there's a new vibe with training camp and everything. And so you're starting at right guard. Then in week 5, a little bit of the injury bug with the Jets O-line. You guys go back to Denver, where your triceps injury occurred. What were you feeling heading into that game?
Like, it was in the back of my head, you know, a little bit. Oh, I got injured here last year, this and that. But I knew I was just gonna go out there, play my game, and like once I was on the field, like I had never thought about it. You know, it was just like any other game. And then unfortunately, like, popped my Achilles. And I'm like, no way, in Denver again, like around the same time, completely different injury. So again, like mentally, that was hard on me as well.
What was it like being placed on IR and knowing you're kind of isolated from the team as you're rehabbing and on your own with this injury?
I think kind of what people don't understand is like when you get placed on IR for a season-ending injury, it's like, all right, you go get your surgery, you come back, you're doing rehab, and you're on like a completely different schedule from the rest of the team, the rest of your friends. So I'm like getting out at like 12 every day. I mean, which some days was nice, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm not hanging out with the guys as much as I would. Like, so when you're not doing that, you know, you really take the time to appreciate the little things, like the meetings you have with one another and the time you have on the field and all the jokes you get to make and all the fun you get to have. So like I said, like mentally that was hard, you know, but luckily I had a lot of family surrounding me and a lot of friends. A lot of my teammates always hitting me up, making sure I was good. So I was grateful for that.
So after all that rehabbing, this season is starting.
Yeah.
How excited were you for this season to finally start so that you could finally get back out on the
know,
field
right?
and start
Yeah.
playing?
Yeah, I was real excited, especially for camp, because at camp, you know, I got cleared for that. So just being able to be out there again was a great feeling. Felt a little rusty at first, you know, just because I had been out there for a while, but then each week kind of felt more and more comfortable.
In the off season, the Jets picked up your 5th-year option. So did that make the start of camp even that much more exciting for you?
Yeah, I think so. Especially because like you never know, right? With the league, what could happen. So when the Jets did that, they picked up my 5th year. I was real grateful, and it just kind of made me more motivated. You know, I know they have faith in me, and I have faith in myself. So I'm gonna keep on pushing and do what I do, and compete at the highest level I know, and just really just work my tail off.
So this offensive line, the 5 of you, you're playing on the same one as Tyron Smith, who, very similar to yourself, went to USC, won the Morris Trophy. Does that feel surreal at times for you?
No, it is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Playing with T. Smith, I mean, I remember, you know, seeing clips of him kind of at USC and seeing him kind of around USC as well. I mean, if you go to USC, play opposite line, you know about him. Like, you see him, you study his film too. So to be able to play with him now was kind of crazy at first. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm hitting up the homies like, yo. But no, he's a great guy for sure, and you know, you could definitely learn a lot from his tape.
What's the potential of this offensive line unit, the 5 of you together?
I think we could take ourselves as far as we want to go. Like with the talent we have, the guys who got a lot of reps last year due to injuries, so the experience we have that. Like I said, the talent. I mean, I think, you know, kind of like the sky's the limit for us, right? And we know that in the room. We know that we could be one of the better O-lines in this league, which would be a really cool thing. But we know it's going to take some work for sure, week by week, day in, day out. So we're excited about that.
That group feels like the sky's the limit for them. What's the goal for you this year?
The goal for me, 1, stay healthy for sure. Stay on that field. That's my main goal. 2, I would say play at a high level where it makes my right tackle's job easier and my center's job easier. And 3, whatever accolades come with that after, I'll take. But I feel like the main thing for me is just always being someone who's played team sports, is getting to the playoffs and then getting to that final game as well.
Awesome, AVT. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.